So that's good. Let me see if I can share my screen with you. I mean, I can. Let's see here. My entire screen. Bam. Okay. So right now, you should all be kind of looking at pictures of yourself, really, because I'm sharing my screen with you. If you hover, why is it not doing this? Oh, I can't get to the chat when I'm doing this. Over here in the, let's see. Oh, okay, let's do this. Up here, do you see where my cursor is circling around up here? And it looks like a little voice box bubble thing, but it's a box. If you click on that, it takes you to this chat thing. And here it says, Miss Hunter said, hey, Amy, what's your email, please? And I typed in her email right here.
Okay.
So you can actually copy and paste this if you wanted to. Like right now, I just copied that. And I could paste it someplace now too. Yeah. She's especially useful to contact with things that aren't really massage related, right? Like if you're having a problem with your homework or I don't know, with something in class, obviously that's the stuff that I'm going to help most with. But if you're like, I have transportation issues, food issues, scholarship issues, things that are kind of bigger than that, she's a great person to contact. You can always contact me too. Does that make sense, everybody, where the chat is? Cool. All right, I'm going to stop sharing right now at least. All right, awesome. Okay. All right, so we were going through gratitude. We just heard Miss Yanez and her gratitude. Robin's on, and everybody's on. At least everybody was on 2 seconds ago. Is Miss? She is, I hope. Yes, she is. All right, we're all here. Cool. I say it wrong, I think, every time, but Miss Monreal, can you hear me? You're staring at me blankly, which makes me think no. Yes, you can. You're slowly. Can you try to unmute your mic and tell us what you're grateful for?
Okay, I was trying to. I'm grateful that I figured that out.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to be here this morning.
Perfect. We'll take it. We're all here. I'm really actually excited about this. I get excited over little stuff. Thank you very much and welcome. And good job and all that stuff. Miss Hunter, what are we grateful for today? We can't hear you. You're unmuted, but I'm thinking maybe it's because your earphone's supposed to talk to the mic. Maybe the mic's muted. It's possible. I don't know.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm grateful for Wi-Fi connection. I'm actually at the Washington campus.
Oh, cool. Is that by your house?
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Is that by your house?
No.
Oh.
I drove here just so I can have decent Wi-Fi connection.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm grateful that I was able to make it through here during morning traffic on time.
So I'm grateful for that too, Miss Hunter. Talk to me when you come into lab and we'll see if we can't get a better solution for you, okay?
Okay,
Cool.
thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. Miss Cooper, what are we grateful for today, Miss Cooper?
I'm grateful for everybody at Gateway, all the teachers and everyone, because I've spent a lot of time here, in aesthetics and now massage.
Oh, that's right.
And I've never had a bad experience with any of the faculty or anyone. You're all so just amazing and understanding. So that's what I'm grateful for.
Yeah, good. We'll take it. Thank you.
I genuinely mean it.
I forgot we have 2 estheticians in our class. Yeah. So our other esthetician is Miss Torres, right? Miss Torres? What are you grateful for today, Miss Torres?
Yes. Hey, everyone. Well, I'm grateful that yesterday went really good for me because of my kids and traffic, and it's far away. So I got home and everything went really, really, really well, other than that morning thing. But oh my God, I'm so thankful for that because things just went like perfect. Like God is perfect. He puts everything where it should be, and amen.
Amen. Testify. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's awesome. Mr. Kandaris, sir, what are you? I'm always looking at your ceiling fan. What are you grateful for today, sir?
The food in my fridge, because I'm hungry and I'm about to make food while you talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Thank you, sir. Food is good. If you guys haven't looked at each other's videos online, by the way, from the first assignment, you might want to. There's some, you guys posted some very interesting videos. Like, I really enjoyed watching them. And he just reminded me of one because his was very,
He did a TikTok.
yeah, he did a TikTok and it was funny. It was good. It was actually really good.
Thank you.
Miss Balatic, there you are. What are you grateful for today?
I'm thankful for my sister because she helped me move the massage table out of my car.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had to like break open the box and then take it out because the box was stuck. So very thankful for her.
Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. So you got it out of the car, you got it at home. It's still in the box?
No, it's right over there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you're right. I can see it back there. Very cool. Awesome. All right. We're actually going to talk about setting that up today. Miss Felix Osuna, what are you grateful for today?
Hi everyone, good morning. I'm grateful for my family supporting me through all this school thing since I've been waiting so long.
Yeah.
They stood up with me.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
I'm sure you're worth the effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Miss Stanley, what are you grateful for today? I just saw you a second.
I think I'm grateful for my dog still being alive. She's only 2 and she's ate a lot of interesting things.
Is this the dog that ate the light bulb?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she ate the light bulb. She also ate a screw.
Yeah. Well,
Oh yeah, she's been an expensive dog.
she's kind of a hardware store inside her stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Home Depot. Yeah. Well, I'm glad she's still alive too.
Thank you.
Miss Nguyen, I hope I said that right.
Yes.
Good.
You an attitude like that?
Your video was impressive, by the way.
Give me your phone, my phone.
Somebody's got their mic on still. But Miss Nguyen, what are you grateful for today?
Yesterday I so worried when go to school because my English, and so today I am so excited when go back to school again.
Yeah.
I guess for that.
Your English, I'm not just saying this to be nice, your English is actually impressively good for somebody who's here so early. There are a lot of people born here that are still struggling with English, including myself at times. So yeah, you're doing great. And your video was great. And did you find out how to find my video, the lecture from the day before?
No.
Okay, I will show you guys that today too. So, because now I got stuff I can show you. Cool.
Yeah, so please show me. Yeah,
good. We'll do that soon. So, video.
Yeah.
Making myself a note here. Awesome. Cool. I'm glad you're happy. That makes me happy. Miss Hanson. Miss Hanson, how are we doing today?
Good morning. I am thankful for a husband that can do all these technical things when I run into issues and trouble.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you should keep him around. Yeah.
What?
You should keep him around.
I think I will.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Good. I'm glad you have technical support there and technical support you're in love with. That's even better. That's kind of good. Good. Miss Harper. Miss Harper. Hi. What are you grateful for, Miss Harper?
I'm grateful that I'm early today.
Yeah. Yeah, you did great.
Yeah, and I'm excited for the lecture and the lab later.
Yeah. I actually love being early, and it's not even because I'm like trying to be a goody two-shoes. I just don't like stressing. And by the way, I learned a trick in corporate America. Everything gets done before the meeting starts. So I show up to all my meetings early, and that's when my bosses are there, and that's when all the all the connections get made and everything like that. Showing up early to stuff, has a lot of value to it. Let's see, Miss Petrie, what are we grateful for today, madam?
I am grateful that waking up in the morning and coming to class is online. Instead of even waking up even earlier.
That's right.
Try to get morning routine in.
That's right.
Make it on time.
Yeah, you just have to, you don't even have to put pants on. You just throw a top on and sit down.
Right.
Just don't stand up. Oh, good. So we've had a lot of meetings like this at Gateway, and people were working from home, and occasionally they would stand up. They weren't naked, but occasionally they'd stand up and they had like a nice shirt on, but they'd stand up and they'd be in like these ratty shorts or whatever because they'd forget, and you're usually only seeing them from here up. Anyway, welcome. I'm glad you're liking the home experience and it's working fairly well for you. I'm glad we're all here. It looks like we're going to make it. Let's see. We have 2 student teachers on here too. I don't want to leave them. Wendy, are you still here? Yes, you are. Sorry.
Yes, I'm still here.
What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for my supportive family, my husband and my son.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that we have 9 calendar days left for my aesthetic instructor program.
Oh, you're graduating in 9 days?
Yes.
And then do you have to test out with the board, or do you just get like your instructor license?
No, we have to test as well.
Got it. So 9 days, unless you fail this portion that you're in with me right now. It's not looking too good.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. Awesome. That's really exciting. That's like 2 weeks. That's really cool. It always seems like it's going to be forever, and then it's like, bam. Yes. Jack, is Jackie on here too?
Yes, I'm on here.
Oh, okay. Hey, what are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful. Seriously, I can enjoy the simple and the small pleasures life brings me, the simple things. And in times like this, I think in our world, we've had to get down to the basics, the simple pleasures, and enjoy those.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that I can enjoy those simple things.
Yes. Give me an example of one of those simple things.
One of the simple pleasures I would say is just being able to sit. I think not going out, as much. So you are not running out to restaurants and such. Just simple things of making dinner and sharing it with your family, or even alone. It was simple, looking at that. The cooking. There's a lot of enjoyment out of that. So that's one simple thing for me that I notice that I enjoy more.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
That sure does. Yeah, I just like to dig a little bit. That's what I'm grateful for today. Is cooking at home. I love cooking at home. So if any of you are on Instagram, you can follow Chef Gratitude. That's me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think there's some cool stuff on there. If you like cooking, by the way, if you don't like cooking, don't follow it at all. But that's my big thing. Anyway, let's show you where to find yesterday's lecture. Let's see if there's any questions, all that kind of stuff. Let's have today's lecture. Let's kind of go through a normal day. But before I start on that, do we have any questions before we get started? No. Okay. Yeah. And of course, just like yesterday, please interrupt as we go. Right? It's just like a normal class. Were you about?
Actually, I have a question.
Please.
I think there's a list of things that we need to get for supplies and stuff. How do I find that?
Okay. By the way, first let me apologize. Our systems are obviously not running. Normally you get kind of this packet and it has a list and stuff like that. But the only supplies you need were probably discussed yesterday. You all have scrub bottoms now, I hope. We gave you scrub tops. You've got tennis shoes of some kind. The only supplies you need to bring with you to school are a bottom sheet, a top sheet, and a towel and a pillowcase cover. That's it. So I can email that to you, but let me also put it in the chat here. And by the way, these are sheets you're going to lie on. So people always say, is it okay if they're black? Is it okay if they're old? Is it okay if they have choo-choo trains on them? Yes, you're going to lay on them. Nobody else is going to lay on them. I don't care what they are. I don't even care if they're clean, although I would recommend you lie on clean sheets, but you're using your own sheets, so it doesn't matter to us. And twin is about the size you want. And people say, should they be fitted or not? Well, yeah, maybe the bottom sheet can be fitted, although it's not going to fit a massage table anyway exactly. You can, by the way, go to a place called massagewarehouse.com and buy fitted flannel sheets like we have on the table behind me here. So let me, This is a fitted sheet set, and this is actually fitted to fit a massage table. But we're not looking for sheets like this. Most people honestly bring things like Superman sheets from their childhood or their adulthood, don't judge, and things like that. So anyway, bottom sheet, top sheet, the towel, we're going to talk about it today, but the towel is just to kind of keep you warm. And the pillowcase cover is to cover the face cradle of the table. And again, this is for you. So we're not going to be inspecting your sheets or anything, but you need them so you can lay on them. And if I had to guess, I don't want to speak too much for Mr. Ibarra, but if I had to guess, the first couple of days he'll have you doing stuff that's clothed too. So you'll probably just be covering the table with a sheet and laying right on the table in your clothes, because he's going to have you do stuff called bear walks, which is done through your clothing. But anyway, any old sheets will do. I mean, technically,
I had to buy this set, and I got mine from Big Lots, and it came as a package, and it's 300 count, and they're 100% cotton, and it was $20.
Yes, that is, by the way, one piece of advice about your personal sheets and even your client sheets. This sounds really weird because I'm all about client experience. Don't buy expensive sheets because they will fall apart quickly. Not because they're expensive, but I meant you're washing your sheets all the time, you're bleaching them all the time to get oil out of them, and so you'll go out and buy these beautiful sheets and they're ruined in a week. You might as well buy cheap sheets and buy them often. So when I used to work at a spa, we had to replace the linens all the time because they just don't hold up, and it has nothing to do with the quality. It's that you're always washing, always bleaching them. So don't spend a lot of money on your linens. Yeah, $20 should be the max. Get some cheap stuff. Pull some stuff out of the closet. Take them off your kid's bed. Yeah. Cool. So just sheets. Any other questions about that? Cool. All right.
Is it like super required that the bottom one is fitted?
No, we don't care.
Oh,
you might.
I can lay it.
Yeah, you might care. And I've seen people do really cute stuff to make them stick onto a table. Here, let me see if I can get this camera right here. This is fitted, right? You can all see this? Okay, so it doesn't require anything, but I've seen people take a sheet like this and they'll take it and they get like little ties to hook it around here so that it'll act like a bottom sheet. But honestly, if it was me, I'm lazy, I'd have 2 top sheets and I just throw them over the top of the table. I don't care. It's not a big deal, you know? So yeah, there's no requirement. We don't care. You're laying on it. Make sure you like them. Cool. Awesome. Oh, righty. Okay, let me share my screen again and show you guys. I don't like, by the way, that my camera's over here, but I look at you over here, so it looks like I'm not looking at you when I am looking at you. I feel like it really ruins the body language thing. Anyway, let me show you where to find lectures and such. So give me a second here to set up my canvas so that it looks like student view. Okay. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Oh. Here we go. Takes it a second to switch over. Okay, so you all should be looking at yourselves again. Hopefully you're seeing me share my entire screen. You're seeing a cursor wiggle around the screen right now. Yes, nod, somebody, please. Okay. Now you should be seeing Canvas. And by the way, when I show you stuff like this, I can no longer see you guys. So if something's wrong, please unmute yourself and talk to me because I can't see your faces anymore. But here's Canvas. And you've got, this is the page you go to all the time. And we're not doing conferences anymore in here or WebEx because they did not work well. You're going to be going to this assignments tab for almost everything. Almost everything, you're going to be going to the assignments tab. You're going to click on it, and it will take you to a page like this. And this page is going to grow over time. Stuff's going to get added to it over time. Your first assignment was this meet and greet, and you clicked on it, and and by the way, 3 of you still have to do this assignment. I'm still waiting for 3 of you to finish this. But you go to this assignment, and you read the instructions, and you do it. When you're done with that, go back to assignments. Day 1, lecture, introduction to the course. So if you go to anything that says lecture, you're going to open it up. It's going to say, hey, this is not an assignment. I know it's in assignments, but that's just the way the computer works. This is not an assignment. It will not be graded. I'm telling you that so you don't freak out, right? This is where you will find today's lecture and any other materials your teacher promised. Here is a link to the video of today's lecture. I know it's not today, but the day that it's talking about. If I click on that link, all of a sudden, you click on this and it's yesterday's lecture. You just click on play. Remember the handout I said I would give you all? If you click on this, it downloads it down here. If I were to open this, all of a sudden you've got the stuff we were looking at yesterday. So, almost everything you want to do in Canvas is under this assignments tab. And you just click along here. This lab here is points that you get in lab. And that is not an assignment too, but Mr. Ibarra would give you points for participating in lab, by the way. Basically, if you participate every day, you're going to get full points. So it's easy points. You have to show up, but you show up and participate, you get them. Today, we're actually going to have like a little quiz in here, and you will go in here and click on this little quiz and take the quiz. And I will explain about that more when we get there. But the point is, you always go to assignments. That's kind of the big key there. So let me stop sharing. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah? Cool. Assignments is where it's at. And just don't freak out. I mean, I don't want to run this to the ground, but not every assignment is an assignment. I'm sorry. I know they're under assignments, but sometimes an assignment is just like, hey, here's where the lecture is or whatever. I will tell you when you have assignments. And what you're going to see is that list right now is only showing you 4 things. Every day, you'll see new stuff add to it. And I number them. I think there's 120 days in the course, so everything for today will be under number 2. Everything for tomorrow will be under number 3. And it just kind of helps you. And if you just kind of go through it as we go, you know, whatever. And by the way, not only can you access that lecture, but you can download it to your computer and have it forever. I don't know why you would want a lecture of mine forever, but you're welcome to it. So nothing is privileged material here. Okay? We can even get you access to PowerPoints if we really need to. It's all in Canvas, all that good stuff. Cool, cool? All right. Any other questions so far about Canvas? Okay. And today's assignment will be kind of the first real, by the way, it's not hard. Don't freak out. I'll explain it. You'll have time to work on it today during this lecture. But today's assignment will be kind of the first real assignment where it has a due date. And I hope you're listening, Mr. Kandaris, because the due date is tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Yep, I'm here, sir.
Good. It's tomorrow at 8 a.m. I suspect many of you will finish it in class today, right? That's my goal. And I don't know, we're going to start to get a feel for how long it takes the group to do stuff and kind of see how lecture works and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't get it done by 11, you have till 8 a.m. tomorrow morning to finish it. And I just cut it off there because I don't want you working on your homework from the day before while I'm lecturing, because then I lose you. Cool? And if you tried to get into it right now, it wouldn't let you because it's stopping you from getting in there while I'm lecturing now. So what will happen is at 10 a.m., the assignment magically opens up and you can get into it. And I will show you again how to get into it, and we will go play with the assignment. I might even open it up early if we have time, we'll see. But that's the concept. It kind of opens and it closes. So, but do remember, and don't freak out, but do remember if it's not done by 8 a.m., it's just a 0 and that's it. It's gone, right? And there are one of these almost every single day. So this is I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing about this course. I think it's good, but you get little points every day. And so it's real tempting. If you miss one assignment, you're not going to fail. If you fail one assignment, you're not going to fail. It's just not going to happen. But don't let that make you be lazy, if that makes sense, because these are just easy points just to rack up. You can make 100 on all of them. For example, this assignment today is really about the chapter of the book that I'm going to lecture on and that you're going to read about, and you have your book at home. It's an open book test. Like, you can get 100 if you want. Does that make sense? So get 100. Just get 100 every day, and that way we know you're reading and you're listening and all that kind of stuff's happening. Okay. Any questions about that so far? Good. All right. I really appreciate the nodders. Like, yeah. Okay, we're good. Okay. Let's see if we can start your lecture.
I'm get question.
Please.
Yeah, sorry. What in the kind sheet I need to buy?
What kind of sheets?
Yeah.
Small twin sheets. Just for
Small.
just for a little bed. And Miss Nguyen, it doesn't matter. Any sheets you like, anything, anything. I've seen very funny sheets come in, but it just doesn't matter. Anything. You probably have sheets in your house you could bring right now. They can be old. Anything.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I hope I answered that well. Okay. Yeah. Please don't stress. If you're here on time and you've got any sheets, you're gonna graduate. Yeah. Okay. Let's get to presenting. Let's see a window. Here we go. No, it's not the window I want to present. Bear with me. Let's present window. There we go. Let's see if we can do this. Okay. So you all, hold on, let me adjust my screen here a little bit. You all are hopefully looking at a picture that says tools of the trade, massage tables, table accessories, yada, yada, yada. Good. Okay, I don't know if you can still see me anymore, but you can see that. All right.
I'm not able. I could only see you.
You can only see me, but you can't see the presentation.
No.
I think you need to unpin me from can you see your classmates? Ms. Torres? Can you see your classmates?
No.
Okay. So if you hover over my face, there's something that looks like a thumbtack, and you can click it to unpin me. Because right?
Yes.
Yeah, did that help?
No. So now it's just you and pictures and everybody out with their pictures. I can't even see the cameras anymore.
So you can't see, everybody else can see the presentation? Okay. I'm trying to figure out what it also could be. Hold on. Let's see. One other thing is you do get to pick how you look at the screen. Okay, so Ms. Torres, on the bottom right-hand side of your screen are 3 little dots.
Yes.
Click on that and click on the top thing that says change layout. And pick the bottom thing that says tiled, T-I-L-E-D.
Okay.
That, I would think, would help. Did that help?
It's not, okay, wait. Okay, got it.
Yeah, all right, cool, we're good. By the way, that was good advice for all of you. There's 3 little dots down the bottom right-hand corner, and I like the
Yes.
tiled view because it makes it look like a classroom to me. And you can basically see everybody. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So today, this discussion is on chapter 3 of your massage therapy book. That's Massage Therapy Principles and Practices by Susan Salvo. We'll be vacillating back and forth. We'll be changing back and forth between this book and Trail Guide to Anatomy. I hesitate to say this, but I think it's the truth, so I think I should tell you. We will learn lots of important stuff in this massage therapy book, but you're going to use more of the anatomy knowledge from the other book. And you're going to find that I'm more intense about the anatomy knowledge from the other book. And you're going to find that the stuff from this book, from massage therapy, this is the stuff we just want you familiar with. That's why there's going to be lots of like, hey, we've talked about it, you've read a chapter on it, you've kind of answered some questions, you seem to basically understand it, but we're not going to be drilling it into you because like you don't need a test on linens. You don't need a test on lubricants. It's not right. But I do want you to know where all the muscles of the body are and what they're doing. That's going to make you, whether you can actually work on structural problems or whatever. Okay, so, and this is a light chapter, which I kind of like starting out with so that nobody stresses out. But we're just going to talk about little massagey stuff. If you're already a massage therapist, I apologize because a lot of this is going to be really obvious to you. If you've worked in the industry for a while, it's very obvious. If you haven't worked in the industry, some of this is obvious, but some is not. It also invites a lot of conversation. So you will have little questions like, hey, Mr. Tapscott, what did you do in that situation or whatever? Please feel free to chime in. Cool? After this lecture, we will turn you loose to read chapter 3 and to take a little quiz online under that assignments tab that I'll show you again and answer questions about chapter 3, right? And that way we know pretty well that you've absorbed chapter 3 of the book, if that makes sense. It's very no nonsense. Any questions so far? No? Good. Okay. Thank you for head shakes and all that stuff. Okay. I'm big into learning objectives, but let's not over worry about learning objectives here. What we really want you to do is be familiar with the basic tools of the trade, a massage table, sheets, all the stuff that we kind of talk about, bolsters and all that kind of stuff. So, and by the way, you guys cannot see me on camera right now, or can you? You can see me on camera. Oh, good. So I can show you the slideshow and show you stuff in the camera. Yes. All right. This is happy days. Okay. So we, behind me, have a massage table, right? Cool, cool, cool. We have, bear with me. Back here is a massage chair. It's not for the massage therapist to sit in. It is to do seated chair massage, which is something we will train you in. And I'm sorry, Miss Hunter, I know you wanted to trade your table for this. Anyway, we have a massage chair here that we will train you in, and you can actually sit a client down and have them fully clothed and work on them. So it's another tool of the trade. I'm not opening that up right now. It's not important. Massage linens that we'll talk about. Bottom sheet, top sheet, towel, and some type of face cradle cover. Let me pop this open. Boom, boom. You're going to use a pillowcase for this. Let me get that out of the way. You're going to use a pillowcase for this, but this is just a fancy face cradle cover that's in the shape of a banana. Fits nicely over that. You can buy this stuff online. It's not expensive. But a pillowcase works just fine. Trust me. Many professional massage therapists use pillowcases all the time. We're going to talk a little bit about lubricants today, the purpose of them, when to use them, and by the way, when not to use them. The atmosphere of the room, like just the environment, like this room would be way too bright to actually do a massage in. And the massage, well, atmosphere and environment to me are the same thing. So, the purpose of a massage table is not really just to get the client to lay flat, right? The purpose is actually to make your life easier. If you've ever tried to massage somebody on a bed or something or on the floor, it actually can be very tricky. By the way, floor, it depends on how you do it, but it can be very tricky. The nice thing about massage tables is that massage therapists that are good, we use them for leverage. So I'm up here working and it actually gives me a lot of leverage instead of having to bend way over, right? And when it comes to table height, hold on. This is a hydraulic table. By the way, all your tables in lab are hydraulic tables. If you want to buy one of these, hold on, a cool thing. Massage community. Oh, here. If you want to buy one of these, they're $2,500. Most massage therapists say that this table should be about fist height, right here. This is a good height. I agree with that. Like, that's a good guess. But the truth is, any massage therapist will tell you the truth is it depends on how my back is feeling that day and how much power I need. If my back is bothering me because I've been doing 8 massages a day for months, then I want the table up high, believe it or not, so I don't have to bend over at all. If I'm having a problem with strength, I want the table really low because I can lean over on it. So we adjust table height all the time. There is no such thing as a right table height, if that makes sense. That's something you're going to play with. Da-da-da. Somebody have a question? I just heard somebody's, no? You all have a portable table, and I want to show you really quick how to set up your portable table. I'm only going to show you one thing. It's very easy to do. Let's see here. I'm going to somebody have their mic on? All right. There we go. Okay. I think you can all see this portable table here. All I want to show you is how to set them up, which is really easy. Hold on. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Canards. Okay. They open up like that. Yeah, I think I'm still on the screen here. They plop out like here. The face cradle and everything is on the inside. We're going to take that out and put it on later. I just want to show you about turning it upright. People have a really hard time turning these things upright for some reason. And if you just stand on this foot right here and grab this thing right here, it'll pop right up. And a lot of people otherwise try to take them and they try to get them going, try to get them going around. They have all these problems. If you just open it up, stand on one foot, it'll pop right up. Now I know it's not flat. You'll straighten it out, but it'll pop right up. Yeah. So cool. The tables you have are not top of the line $5,000 tables, but they're sturdy. So they will hold just about anything. And you sure don't have to worry about, they'll hold a 500-pound client. I wouldn't worry if there's 4 of us sitting on this table right now. I really wouldn't. So they're solid. We're going to talk a little bit about the padding and the length and all that kind of good stuff here. selecting a manufacturer is a bunch of baloney. There's a lot of reputable tables out there. Get something that's at a good price and is rated for about 500 pounds. That's my only advice to you. I think all of our tables are either by NRG, which is a low-end table model, but they're actually quite strong, or by Living Earth Craft, which is a high-end model, and they're quite strong too. But there aren't really a lot of bad tables out there anymore. So, table width. This is kind of important. That's how wide this table is, right? I'm gonna go back to my other table. Boom, good. Table width is how wide this table is. And massage tables come between about 28 and 32 inches. Most are 30 or 31 there. I recommend you get the widest darn table that they make available whenever you're buying a table. And that is because most clients don't have this sleek runner's body that I do. Many of your clients, it's hard for them to lay on the table. It's not that their stomach is 33 inches wide, but their arms start flopping off and everything. So I think the tables in your lab are 32 or 33 inches wide. We got the widest ones possible. And I've never once thought, oh, my table is too wide. All right, so that's just a little massage advice for you. Let's get wide tables. Height, we already kind of talked about. You get to set height. Set it for something that's comfortable for your back. The lower you go, the more power you have, because you can get your body over. The higher you have, the easier it is on your back. So I've got a fair amount of weight to me for one thing, and I've got a fair amount of upper body strength, so I actually work on a very high table. I don't need the extra force. If you feel like you're tiny, or you don't feel like you have enough arm strength or whatever, get your table down low. It really, really helps. Yeah. Padding. So, massage therapists are really into the padding of the table, what actually makes it squishy. They like high density padding. High density means that it's really thick. And the reason is low density padding tends to not bounce back. It doesn't have much memory. It tends to give way. High density seems to come back to its original shape time and time again. I also like high density because it's very firm. And I want the client to be comfortable, but I don't want them to disappear in a cloud when I'm pushing on them. Yep. I wonder why these things are underlined. Anyway, so most tables are 30 to 31 inches wide. Some of this stuff is very boring. I will tell you, on your portable tables, this hydraulic table, once you raise or lower it, it's locked. Like it's solid. On your portable tables, I recommend every time that you open them up, you make sure these knobs are tight that adjust the height. You can unscrew these and adjust the height to something different, but make sure they're tight on all four legs before you start massaging somebody, because they can get loose over time, and it's not good if they come loose. The table does not hold 500 pounds if the knobs aren't on right. Oh, sorry. There we go. There's not usually a selection on table length, so don't worry about it. You get what you get. Face cradles are really important. Face cradles are this thing that comes with your massage table. And your face gets dressed inside them. Yep. And they make really, really cool ones now with like memory foam and all that kind of stuff. If money is no object, I'd invest a lot in a really nice face cradle cover, because this is the thing that all clients complain about. They want their head in here because it allows them to not have their neck bent or head turned to the side, right? Nobody wants to lay like this forever. If any of you are stomach sleepers, like you probably love sleeping on your stomach, but after a while your neck gets to you. So face cradle allows the client to lay straight with their neck straight, but after a while it kind of bothers their face and things like that. You don't, by the way, always have this covered if you're actually using this for a massage. So if when you're buying a massage table, they offer like some type of memory foam or an extra good face cradle cover, buy it. Makes a big difference to the client. Doesn't matter what they're made of. I've already kind of talked about this, about high density padding. It's got better memory. Loft is considered the thickness of the padding. So I recommend thick padding too. If you have thick, dense padding, so thick is how deep it is, right? And dense is how hard it is. The benefit to that is if you have like a little 80-pound client, they just kind of sit on top of it. That's fine. And if you have a 400-pound client, the density can handle that too, and everybody tends to be comfortable on your table. You want your table to be comfortable but firm, firmer than a bed usually, right? We don't want it to have that much give because every time you push, you want that client to basically stay there. There are some little tricks, by the way, little industry tricks when it comes to your table. Have you all seen, like, I feel like Walmart carries this, those egg crate foam things? They're really cheap. They're like 10 bucks. They don't provide a lot of, by the way, they're not high density, they're low density. But some massage therapists put them over their padding on their table, underneath their sheet, but over their padding, because they help the table kind of breathe and they protect the table. So we don't have it on this table, but what I'm trying to say is underneath this sheet here, they'll have, instead of just this pad here, they'll have this egg crate foam here, and the egg crate foam kind of breathes, and it only costs 10 bucks. And so after a year or two, they'll throw out that foam because they're protecting the vinyl underneath here, because that's what you don't want to have go. And if you take care of your table, by the way, if you take care of your table, it could last you 20 years. I mean, that's not unusual. I see some people nodding who probably know because they probably still have tables that they've had for 20 years. And by the way, they're not just good for massage too. The table in my house, we use for massage, and we also use for folding laundry. Or not folding laundry, just letting it sit there for weeks on end and just picking our clean clothes out of that. So, I mean, they've got a lot of really good uses. So anyway, but density is how dense the foam is. Loft is how thick it is. Boom. I don't think you're gonna have to worry about this. It's true, but I don't think you have to worry about this much anymore. Most tables are made out of polyurethane fabrics and not polyvinyl chlorides. Those are called PVCs, and PVCs are harmful to the environment, and so they've been trying to phase them out a lot. And there's actually all sorts of papers written on PVCs. In fact, I wrote one. It's a long story, but anyway. Yeah, so I don't even think you're gonna have to look for a table that's not made with PVCs anymore because they just tend to not do that anymore. Polyurethane fabrics work really, really well, which is what all of the tables in here are made with, and all your tables are made with, and all the tables out there I know are made with, really. So let's talk linens, okay? So linens are really interesting, actually, and it seems like a small point, but they tend to be really important to the client and really important to the massage therapist. So these are flannel sheets. Now, I like flannel. I think they're soft to the client, and I like that they actually catch on the other sheet a little bit. So when I drape somebody, which you guys are going to learn about draping later, but when I wrap up somebody's leg in this thing, the flannel catches on the flannel a little bit and kind of keeps them draped, keeps the sheet locked in place. When I tuck it, it tends to stay locked. Other therapists would hate that and would be just as right as I am for loving it. They would hate it and say, I don't like that it catches like that. I want like really slick sheets that I can pull through really easily and things like that. So you'll kind of notice this when you're playing with your own sheets. Also, I'm not sure that flannel lasts quite as long as just good old solid cotton sheets and stuff, and they're more expensive. This sheet set that you can buy, I'm not trying to promote this, at Massage Warehouse or someplace like that, this bottom sheet, top sheet, and face cradle cover, just those three items are about 30 bucks. 30 bucks, I think. But I really like the way they feel to lay on them too. So just things to think about. You're just gonna have to play with them. I've seen people bring in like sateen sheets, those kind of like fake silk kind of things, those are almost too slick. They just can't tuck them under anything. They slide them, they pop back out. So you want some kind of grab somewhere in the sheet because you're going to tuck clients and you want it to stay there. The sheets also protect your table. So even though we have a towel on top of here, underneath here, we have a pad. And the pad is for two reasons. One is this is an electric pad. It's a heating pad. But it's also to protect the table. Even if I didn't have a heating pad, I would have some type of towel or something so that oil is not getting through the bottom sheet, through this, and onto my table. Get a big beach towel or something and put it underneath here. And at the end of the week, at least wash the beach towel, right? It's never coming in contact with the client, but it's still, stuff still goes through sheets. Eventually, yeah. And to be very honest with you, these heating pads, every couple of years, we throw them out, even if they're still working, and we buy new ones because they get gross and we can't wash them, right? Even though they're not coming in contact with the client. Little things to think about. Questions so far? We're all okay? Oh, yeah. Woo! It's exciting. I know. Chlorine bleach is the big thing that we use for disinfecting. It's great on sheets. It's hard on sheets. So it gets rid of all the pathogens that we are worried about, but it also really eats up your sheets. We even use it sometimes to clean tables, and because it's a really good way to clean your table, don't do it every day. I'm not saying don't clean your table every day. I'm saying don't use bleach on your table every day. You'll eat right through the material. But many massage therapists clean their table weekly or monthly with chlorine bleach to kind of really clean it down. And they rinse it all off. So they go back over with a wet rag and stuff like that to make sure all the chlorine bleach is off. And they'll use something like this, Citrus 2, for a daily cleaner. It's a hospital grade disinfectant. It kills things like HIV and coronavirus and everything, but it's not as harsh on your table. Nice thing about chlorine is it not only kills a lot of stuff, it also eats through oil and all that kind of stuff. So chlorine's a big one. I feel like I'm not trying to like minimize this chapter, but I feel like some stuff is kind of common sense. Like, you know, this chapter is going to discuss how warm your room should be and things like that. Here's the challenging part. Your client is almost naked, if not naked, and they're underneath a sheet. They would like the room to be 80 degrees, 78 degrees, right? You are working on them. You'd like the room to be 57 degrees because you're working your buns off. I'm exaggerating a little bit there, right? But we get the idea. So trying to get the room to a temperature that the client and the therapist like is very difficult. That's why we have heating pads on these tables, because we want the room to stay cold for you guys, but we want the person on the table not to be dying. So in lab, by the way, you can turn on your heating pad on your table, and I would, because I like it when the lab's cold myself and the tables are hot. Client's happy, I'm happy. Some therapists will also put a fan on the floor that blows across their legs without hitting the client on the table, and that's helpful too. But yes, can't say much more about any of that. We've already talked about face cradles. The purpose of a face cradle, by the way, is to let the client lay face down. I want to show you something here. There we go. Let's make sure you can see the face cradle here. All right. Okay. We can see that face cradle. Yep. All right. So the idea of a face cradle is that my neck is fairly straight here. A lot of clients, for some reason, want it way up high. That's actually hyperextending my neck. It's actually hyperextending my neck, which I don't really want. I would prefer it actually to flex the neck. So in a perfect world, I wish the client, hold on, had it going down. Because I want them to open up the back of their neck so I can get to it, if that makes sense. I want to have access to their neck. So I normally set my face cradle a little bit down. Now, what happens when a client doesn't like that and tilts it up? We let them do that. Client's always right. We suggest them into the area we would like. We suggest them to have a face cradle where they're not laying on the table like this through my whole massage, and I want to kill them. But if they want to lay like this the whole time with the face cradle up like that, they can. I just worry about them leaving with their neck worse than they came in and thinking it was my fault. So we always recommend that kind of stuff. I will make one suggestion with a client about something like, oh, wouldn't you like to try the face cradle a little bit down? It'll open up your neck a little bit, help me a little bit. But if they're like, nope, that's it. Be very careful that you don't fall into the habit of thinking that you know better than the client. Sometimes you do. You really do. But people don't like to be preached to. So I always generally suggest and then move on so that we're not arguing back and forth about where to put a face cradle. And I just say that because it's easy to do. You'll see. It's easy to kind of going back and forth with somebody about something that's not that important, really. So this is a good example of a client laying on a table. They have something underneath their feet here, and that is called a bolster. Let me get a bolster here for you. This is a bolster. This is a huge bolster, by the way. This is 9 inches across. It's a big bolster. There's a lot of smaller bolsters. I don't like small bolsters. I think if you've got a small bolster, you probably didn't need a bolster. It's usually placed underneath the ankles, like it is in this picture right here, when the person's face down, or under their knees when they're face up. So, there are reasons for that. There we go. The reason for the knees is some people actually have shortened hip flexors, and this is something we're going to talk a lot about in this class. Most Americans spend a lot of their day doing what you guys are doing right now, which is sitting, and me too. And the muscles in here shorten up. And it sounds weird, but when they get up, they can't fully straighten up. And that puts a lot of strain on their back, believe it or not. So somebody like that can't lay flat on a table without putting strain on their back. And so what a bolster will do for a person like that is let them still have this angle here. Because when their legs go flat for them, it pulls on their back. So for some people, they love bolsters. Most massage places will tell you that you should always offer a client a bolster, and that's probably true. The reason I'm saying probably true is I'm old school. I was trained 30 years ago, and we just laid you down on a rock and hit you with a chair, and so we didn't offer you bolsters or anything like that. But yes, every place will tell you, if you ever go to any place for a massage, they will say, would you like a bolster underneath your knees? When you're face down, they'll try to put a bolster underneath your ankles. And you should. I'm just very old school, and I want to get to massaging you. And I don't like to spend a lot of time. Whatever you do, though, don't spend 14 minutes positioning the bolster, tucking the sheets, combing your hair, scenting the air. People come in and they want to be rubbed. And you need to get to it. So we'll talk more about that later, but the fact is, if you do want a bolster, I'm shoving it under there, we're getting going. You came for a massage, and we're going to do a massage. I don't know if any of you have had a professional massage where it seems like it takes them a long time to actually get started. And you'll be like, oh, I could use a little bit more pressure. They go, well, I'm warming you up. Oh, okay. Well, it's now 20 minutes in the massage. Think you're still warming me up. Like, let's go. We need to go. Get going. People pay for you to rub. Trust me. That is more important than anything I shared with you today, actually. Arm shelves, I'll just tell you what they are. We don't have them on these tables. Arm shelves are the reason you get really wide tables. But some tables you can actually get a shelf that sticks into the side here to help people's arms stay on the table. If you have a really wide table, you don't need them. So it's neither here nor there. I wouldn't order one, although I've seen them used quite effectively. And if you have a really wide client, they're nice. And you can add, by the way, you can add arm shelves after you own a table. You don't have to make that decision when you buy a table. It's an accessory that can be thrown over your current table, any table. Let's see. We already talked about placing bolsters behind knees and under ankles. Some people do get a bolster underneath their neck, not the big one I showed you, not this. But if they're laying on their back, you might roll up a little towel to help keep this nice gentle curve of their neck. That's considered a bolster too. The idea is to get them to lay at a normal curvature of the spine on the table. There's a word in this slide that we should talk about. And I hope you all see the word that says supine. Supine means laying on your back face up. Supine means laying on your face, laying on your back face up, not laying on your face. Supine, I am now supine. Here's how you remember supine. If I am supine, I am laying on my spine. Supine on the spine. You'll even hear some therapists say it, supine on the spine. Now, when I'm talking to clients sometimes, I don't always use fancy terms because I think it looks like I'm showing off a little bit or something. So if I did say supine, I'd say I need you to lay supine on your back. I'd say both the normal term and the massage term. But supine on the spine. I don't think that's on a test today or something, but it's something you will use for the rest of your career. Supine on your spine. If you're laying face down, by the way, that's called prone. Prone position. And don't worry, you're going to hear these terms 4,000 times before you graduate. But they're just good things to know. Good things to know. So this person is laying supine on their spine with a bolster underneath their knees to help their low back and a little bolster in their neck to help them with the natural curve of their neck. And they look quite peaceful. Makes me want to get a massage. Stools are fantastic, by the way. One of the hard things actually about being a massage therapist is standing. If you work a 6-hour day, you'd think it's the pushing and the rubbing that gets you really tired. Sometimes it's the standing. Like it's tiring. And so for stuff where you don't need power, like feet or head and neck, it's nice to sit down. And that's an adjustable stool that she's sitting on there so she can be at whatever height is good for her. That said, do not become a lazy therapist and try and do an entire massage sitting down. And you might laugh now, but you'll try it later. So, because clients know when you're being lazy, and they don't like it actually. And they know that when you spend 20 minutes of a 60-minute massage on their hands sitting down, that you were just killing time. And yes, hands are lovely, but I guarantee you this is not the favorite part of their body. People come to you and they say stuff like neck, shoulders, low back, feet, glutes, before they'll say hands. There's always somebody out there that's an exception to the rule, but 99% of the time, hands are low on the list. So I still massage them, but I don't sit down and massage them for 20 minutes. That's not good. Electric table warmers are wonderful. We already talked about them. They're fantastic. You might want to get one for yourself. They're quite amazing, and they protect your table, and they keep you warm, and they make clients happy. You know, you want to kind of have this cocoon kind of thing where they lay on your table, and they're like, ah. If you got to lay there for an hour or two, you hope your client's laying there for 2 hours, by the way. This is useless, carrying cable. They do make table carts. So tables only weigh about 30 pounds, but they're surprisingly difficult to carry. So they just are awkward, and they're big, and they're bulky. And one of the things I used to hate about alcohol was not doing the alcohol, it was carrying the table. And so I would combat this a couple of ways. One is, by the way, when I do alcohol, I try to encourage people to do the longest massage they can possibly do and get as many family members involved if I'm going to be there. If you're at somebody's house and they say, hey, can you do an extra half an hour, an extra hour? Don't say no. Schedule yourself in such a way that you can say yes. You've already carted your 30-pound table up there. You've already set it up. You've already waited for them to get out of the shower. You've already put all your sheets on. You're already going. Keep going. And then when they get off, they go, hey, did you have time for my spouse? Absolutely, I do. It's 11 o'clock at night. I've got time for your spouse. What about my dog? Yes. What about my plant? Yes. What about my kids? Yes. It's 4 a.m., but I'm going to leave your house with $1,000, right? I'm not kidding. Like, keep going. That's one thing. Yes, ma'am.
I want to know how you massage a plant.
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes, I did. I'm prone to exaggeration, but gingerly, very, very delicately. But I have been at people's houses many, many times where they go, oh, this feels so great. Like, can we do another hour? Sure. Hey, do you have time for my spouse? Sure. Don't book yourself so tight that the answer is no, because what the hardest part about an hour out call is it takes an hour of travel, right? And even if that person is your next door neighbor, I bet you it's going to take about an hour of travel. I know it sounds crazy, but by the time you load up the table, you go to their house, you ring the doorbell, you get set up, they show you what room to go in, you put all your stuff together, you you break it all down, you get it back in the car, you go back to your house. It's not the distance of driving, it's the whole concept. And so this is why massage therapists charge $100 an hour for alcohol. It's because it's the travel. And do people love you to come to their house? Yes, they do. And they love you coming at night because they love to get a massage at 8 o'clock at night. And sometimes they'll prepay you even because they want to roll off the table and go to bed. And they'll say, let yourself out. Sometimes they'll pay you extra to leave the table there and they fall asleep on it. I'm not kidding you. Sometimes they buy their own table for that reason. Because tables aren't that expensive, right? If you're somebody who's a regular massage goer, $250 for a table, and then you can just stay on it, wake up in the middle of the night after the massage is over and go to bed. That's pretty fantastic. So it's a great, great time. I know you may not want to be doing a massage at 9 o'clock at night, but it's a great time for a client. Absolutely great. And it's great when it's husbands and wives and kids and everybody. By the way, a lot of people are a little bit leery about working on kids. I'm not. So especially if the parents are there, just even in the same house, like family massages are great. Do everybody. Take care of everybody. That's awesome. Yeah. And if I'm already there and you want me to give your kid a half-hour massage, which I would normally never come see you for a half-hour massage, that just doesn't make sense. But of course, I'm going to take care of your child for a half hour, right? You are trying to not only heal people, but you're trying to ingratiate yourself into their life. And so if I made you happy and then I made your spouse happy and then your kids happy, you love me, right? And I want you to love me. I want you to call me back. I want you to love me because it's nice working on people that love you. And it's nice when they give you money too. It's okay to get both. Heal the world and make some money. Let's see. Creating a massage room environment. This chapter is going to talk a lot about creating your massage room environment. I think a lot of it's a matter of opinion. We've already talked about sheets. Cotton and flannel are the big ones. They are right, by the way, about saying avoid see-through fabrics. Clients kind of know when you can see through the fabric, and they already feel self-conscious already because, frankly, sheets don't leave much to the imagination. You can see every shape that's underneath a sheet, right? And so we're all self-conscious about our bodies, and people tend to be very self-conscious about their body. And so you want sheets where they really feel covered. In fact, this towel, as far as I'm concerned, is not here for warmth. It's what we always called a modesty towel, and it's here to make you feel covered. So even though you're covered by a sheet already, the towel gives extra weight to it, and you'd be shocked. It makes you feel much more covered. Plus, it's kind of nice for the therapist in case you need a towel really quicker to wipe your hands or whatever, and they're easy to launder, a lot better than a blanket, which is hard to launder. But we call these modesty towels, at least I always have. And they're there because it makes the client feel like the sheet is less see-through. Cool? They're talking about towels here. I kind of told you everything there is to know about towels. Yes, they're made for absorbency in spas, but really you guys will use them for modesty reasons so that a client feels well draped during a massage. I like them a lot. I don't do a massage without a towel usually. Blankets are great. They feel amazing. Oh my gosh. I worked at a spa where we had down comforters that went over the towel and the sheet on you, and it was amazing. And it was an amazing pain in the neck to wash them because you constantly have to take the duvet covers off and wash them, because the minute it touches a client, it has to be washed. So if you're really good at folding it back and getting just right, but all the client has to do is flop their hands down on that thing one time, and you're supposed to wash through the duvet cover, and they're a lot of work. But boy, do clients love them. So if you want to offer really high-end massage, you can show up with all that stuff. And we all have different approaches. I'm kind of a no-nonsense massage therapist, so I kind of come to your house and lovingly beat you up, and I don't bring anything with me. I'm like, here's a table, lay down, we're going to rub the snot out of you. Whereas other therapists come in and they say, I brought this down comforter, I've got aromatherapy scents, I brought my music box, I brought little lights to make the room nice, and clients love that, by the way. They love both of us for different reasons, right? And you just kind of have to decide what fits your personality. And thus the clients you will attract. Don't worry about this. Do worry about disinfecting sheets, but all you have to do is throw them in hot water, a little bit of bleach, you're good to go. Let's talk about lubricants. So, this chapter is going to talk about lubricants, and I think that they will talk about like hypoallergenic lubricants. I think that's probably coming up here. I really recommend you use lubricants without scent in them, because, or at least have that option. By the way, it's great to have lubricants with scent in them because your clients associate you with that scent. It kind of becomes your brand. That's wonderful. But the problem is if it's a scent somebody doesn't like or they're allergic to, that's a problem. And the worst thing that can happen in the world, in my opinion, in massage, very little bad can happen in massage. That's what I love about them. But one of the worst things that can happen is I can lather up your whole back with something that we now discover you are allergic to. Right? And that is the end. Yes. So I like hyperallergenic lotions. I like very simple lotions. Make sure you know what's in your lotion in case somebody does have some kind of reaction to it, so you can be like, here, that's what's in it. Let's take you to the hospital, that kind of thing. But that's the stuff to be really careful about. And so that's a big thing to think about when it comes to lotions. The other thing that I really want you to think about is, why do we use lotions or oils? And that is to prevent friction, right? That is because if I rub on my arm here and there's no lotion or oil, it starts to hurt. It kind of drags on my skin. So therefore, you'd think I should just put loads of lotion on here and it'll be a great massage. That is not the answer either. Too much lotion is as bad as not enough lotion. And I seem to be making a very big deal out of lotion, or by the way, it could be oil, doesn't matter. But it is a big deal. If somebody squirts a whole bunch of lotion or oil on me at the beginning of a massage, I know I'm probably going to get a bad massage. Because they're just going to slide off my body, and you can't rub really well when you slide off the body. And we actually do want some drag, because part of people's problem in massage is their fascia, which is essentially their skin. We'll get to fascia more later. But their fascia is sticking to them. And if I don't have some drag, I can't drag their fascia and unstick it. So believe it or not, in my opinion, and one that I hold very strongly, you want just enough lotion or oil so that you are not annoyingly dragging their skin. Just enough. So I'm not kidding you. There are times At least I don't think this thing's open. Let's see. Yeah. There are times that I can't get this thing to open, but I've been doing this business for 20 years and I can't open the lotion or oil. Let's see. Let's see. Come on. There. That I will. Woo! There are times I just will put like a tiny little bit. I'm just trying to get the friction of my hands so that it doesn't grab your skin right away. But I actually want to get some grab. If that makes sense. So play with that. Be careful about using too much lotion. By the way, if one of you came to me and said, I like the world's lightest massage, I like it really light, I don't like anything to bother me, I don't have any, whatever, I can't, I'd use lots of lotion because I'm less likely to hurt you. You've told me that you're easily irritated. But if you came into me and said, I've got a sore neck, sore back, sore legs, sore feet, I'm going to use just enough lotion that I'm not pinching your skin, but I still want to be able to have traction on it. And you'll see this when you start playing with massage. So just be careful. It's something that a lot of therapists use just way too much of. Way too much. By the way, there's all sorts of discussion, over lotions, creams, oils. The school of thought is that you use oils for even more slip and for things like Swedish massage, and you tend to use creams for deep tissue type stuff where you want more drag. And that's probably true, but in my opinion, it just doesn't matter. It's all about amount. I can use.
Do you have a favorite brand?
Do I have a favorite brand?
Yes.
So yes and no. Thank you for asking. So one thing is, whatever my favorite brand is, when I'm massaging full time, after a year, it's no longer my favorite brand because I get sick of it on my hands. That's not the company's fault. It's just I get tired of it and I want something new. So I find something new and then that's my favorite brand for a while or whatever. Strangely, one of my favorite things is coconut oil. It's been like my new thing, coconut oil. You can cook with it. And I kind of like that you're putting something on somebody's body that's completely edible. Very few people are allergic to coconut oil. There's nothing else in it. It is a natural antibacterial. So it doesn't hold bacteria very well. It's solid at room temperature, but the minute it hits your hand, it becomes liquid. It doesn't take very much. It doesn't smell very strong at all. It's got a very, very light coconut scent. And it's so simple. So I don't have to go through an ingredient list with somebody. I could just be like, are you allergic to coconut oil? And they're like, I don't think so. And then we go. And we've used it here at the school before. We don't now, but we used it here at the school before and we never once had a problem with it. And so I don't know why. I just kind of like this kind of concept that it's something I can cook with and massage you with. And people put it in their hair. People brush their teeth with it. Like it's really versatile stuff. People do all sorts of stuff with coconut oil and it's great for massage. So it's one of my favorite things, and you can go buy a big vat of it at like Costco or whatever for, I don't know, $15, probably last you forever. Anyway, it's one of my favorite things, but you can't squirt it because at room temperature, it's pretty solid. And then somewhere right around 75, 80 degrees, it becomes liquid. So you have to scoop out a little bit in a cup or something, and every time you put it in your hand, it kind of liquefies. But you can just tell I'm just into it now. A couple of years ago, it would have been something else. I don't know. You know, we use, what do we use? I forget now. A really common deep. Thank you, Biotone. Yeah. And I like Biotone. The only thing I don't like about Biotone is it's got a lot of stuff in it. And so I feel like, isn't that more stuff that somebody could be allergic to and I have to kind of explain to them, and it just makes it more confusing. And the reason
Biotone has never been my favorite.
Yeah, and some therapists swear by it. I think they've got good marketing. My big thing here is that I want to make sure we're using just one thing. So if a client has a problem with it, I can be like, oh, well, Miss Petrie had used Biotone on you because that's all we have here. And we would use coconut oil here still, except that it's very hard to dispense. I have to put it in little cups for you. People are carrying around little cups of coconut oil. Eventually it creates problems. The Biotone comes in nice squeeze bottles and we're good to go. Yeah. Thank you. You'll find your own favorite stuff. And by the way, sometimes you have a favorite lubricant for a favorite client. If I am seeing you weekly and you are doing 2-hour massages with me, you might be bringing in $5,000 annually to me. That is not an exaggeration at all. One client can be worth $5,000 annually. One just good client, not even phenomenal client, just one good client can be worth $5,000. You have 10 clients like that, that's a $50,000 a year job. And if I'm seeing Miss Petrie here and she's like, I don't like Biolage or whatever, by golly, if she's my weekly client, she's going to get whatever she wants and I'll have it in a special bag and then she feels special and it's worth it. What, buy a bottle of lotion for $10 and she's my regular client. Or she likes lavender. I might say, oh, Miss Petrie, I made a lavender scented lotion or oil for you. I know how much you like it. It's worth it giving that special attention. You have to remember you're going to have 100 clients that you see once a year and 10 clients that you see 100 times a year. And those 10 clients are really core to you. Really, really
I was
core to
thinking
you.
about those who don't have a lot to spend right now, because I mean, we're in school.
Yeah.
Something that they can use at home for practicing with friends, family, etc.
Yeah. Coconut oil is a pretty good one. Get it at Trader Joe's. You'll have plenty. Use it at home. Anything that you're okay ingesting, meaning to eat, you can rub on a body. That's for sure. The stuff we do avoid is petroleum-based stuff like Vaseline and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff to suggest that's not good to rub on your body. And if any of you are absolutely desperate for some lotion, I can get you some for free if you really need some. So let me know. The only thing to think about oil-based or water-based, by the way, is water-based tends to clean up better. Remember I said hypoallergenic products are less likely to create allergic reactions, and I underlined it there for some reason. Don't worry about any of this. Creams, lotions, oils, gels, there is no disadvantage. All that kind of stuff, balms, waxes. Do avoid, I just said this, do avoid products with mineral oils in them. That is like Vaseline and things like that. And you don't want lots of waxes in them, things like that. This is important. So cross-contamination. It's something that we don't think about. Cross-contamination is when I take a contaminant, get it on something else, and then carry it to something else. So at the end of your massage, I know you're all going to wash your hands with soap and water. That's fantastic. In fact, you're probably going to wash up to your elbow or past the soap and water, yes. You'll wash all this up here. But the problem is if you don't wash your massage bottle between every massage, every time I grab this massage bottle and put oil or lotion on my client and I grab it again, I've now got that client on the bottle and now I go wash my hands, but when my next client comes, I grab the bottle. I've now got that client on this new client. That's cross-contamination. Cross-contamination is anything you touch after you've touched somebody that doesn't get washed. And we're smart enough to know to wash our hands and we wash our sheets, but we cross-contaminate with bottles all the time. It is a huge, huge thing. Mr. Rivera will have you wipe these off every day because of that reason, and you want to too. The bottles are pretty disgusting. So just remember that, yeah, you've done your due diligence in washing your hands, but cross-contamination is I rub this client, I go wash my hands, new client comes in, I grab this bottle again. This thing still has the old client on it and quite a bit of them on it, right? So that's cross-contamination. So just be very careful. That's how we spread disease, right, is through stuff like that. The other thing that massage therapists do a lot, and this is more for your safety, is, and we don't do it as much now that we're wearing masks because they kind of remind you, but we touch our face a lot. Everybody does. And if you touch the client, you touch your face, you're cross-contaminating to yourself, right? And you get that stuff on. The problem with touching your face is you're very near your eyes, nose, and mouth. And those are great ways to get bacteria into you. Skin, I don't want to freak you out. Skin is an incredible barrier. People are always like, oh, should I put on gloves or whatever? I've never once put on gloves in my 25 years of massage. Skin is an incredible barrier. If you do not have a cut and they don't have any cuts, you are safe. As long as I don't take the skin and put it next to my face, that's a problem. right? But if I keep it over here and massage them and wash my hands, I don't care if you've been working out, I don't care if you're stinky, whatever, I'll massage you and I'll wash my hands afterwards. It's fine. Skin is an incredible barrier. Just be careful about cross-contamination. And this isn't in this chapter, but since we're talking about hands, the other thing you might want to look at is your fingernails. Fingernails are great for cross-contamination because they do something really disgusting. When you're massaging somebody, they scrape up little bits of their skin and get it underneath your nail, and it doesn't come off when you wash very easily, and you go to the next client and scrape it into their skin. And then you carry it around with you, by the way, all day long. You kind of chew out some of your clients out from underneath your fingernails. Yeah. So keep your fingernails short. Plus, your clients don't like to be scraped by them. Don't worry about any of that. Of course, you're going to store your oils in cool, dark places because what happens is they go rancid very quickly. And they're saying they last 18 months. Every massage book I've ever read says they last 18 months. I don't know. I'd say about a year. Don't worry, by the way, you're not hurting somebody by using them. You'll open up the oil bottle one day, this giant gallon you've bought, and you'll be like, that smells bad. And that's how you'll know it's gone bad. Would it hurt to rub it on somebody? No, but they're going to smell that it's bad, right? You're not eating it, so it's fine. But keep it in a cool, dark place, and it will last a lot longer. Whereas when you're doing alcohol, try not to leave this in your car. Because a couple days in Phoenix, and this thing shot really fast. And you keep the refill bottle someplace cool and dark at home. Easy peasy? Easy peasy. Cool. So let's talk about when you do want to scent an oil. Now, I know I just said use hyperallergenic oils and don't scent them because some clients don't like that. And I still agree with that. But you might want to have the option of aromatherapy because some people love it. They absolutely love it. So I wouldn't have it as your only option, but I have aromatherapy as an option. And aromatherapy is when you use some type of distilled plant, flower, oils that are put into your oil. And when they're put into your oil, the oil they're put into is called a carrier oil. It's the main oil. So if this was almond oil, which essentially has no scent, 96% of this would be almond oil and 4% would be lavender, or 4% would be sage. If it's eucalyptus, by the way, which can actually burn your skin, 1% would be eucalyptus. You put a very tiny bit of that oil, the aromatherapy oil, in a very large volume of the carrier oil. The nice thing about aromatherapy oils, from my opinion, a lot of people, by the way, believe they're healing, they're relaxing, they're uplifting, that they have medicinal properties, and that really very well may be true. But the other thing I like about them too is that they're going to associate that oil with you, right? If you have a special person in your life, I suspect you like the way they smell. We associate smells with things. I still sometimes get a whiff of this thing that reminds me of my grandmother's basement, right? That we used to play in as a kid. And that was 40 years ago, right? But I still remember that. It brings me right back there. So when you smell vanilla, it makes you think of stuff cooking. When you smell lavender, it might make you think of relaxation. When you have somebody that you adore, you might really like their aftershave or their perfume or whatever. Aromatherapy, even just for that reason, is extremely powerful. And it's completely fine to have a personal blend for some client that's a regular client. Sometimes clients, by the way, will bring their own stuff to you and say, hey, will you use this? And my answer is always like, yeah, sure. Of course I'll use your stuff. That's even better, by the way. Do I have to worry about cross-contamination if this bottle is only used on you and you brought it to me? No, that's your problem. And I use that every time. So aromatherapy is cool stuff. Very cool. There's just so many different kinds. If you guys want, you can go online if you're really into this and get like a tester set. It'll have all sorts of little bottles of aromatherapy, and you can kind of blend up your own stuff. It is a lot of fun. And some spas and massage therapists like yourself maybe will actually do personal blends for clients. They'll have them smell stuff and say, what do you like? And they'll make a little bottle for them and kind of make it this special kind of event. The other nice thing about aromatherapy is you can charge more for it. So I got to massage you for 2 hours anyway. And that's wonderful. But now you've asked for aromatherapy, and I'm going to use this upgraded oil, which might cost me, I don't know, 50 cents more for that massage, but I'm going to charge you $10 more, $20 more for an aromatherapy massage. That's a no-brainer to me. It took no time, no extra effort, no nothing to upgrade you to an aromatherapy massage, right? Upgrades are fantastic. And from a financial business point of view, fantastic. Plus, by the way, the client is happier. The client that's into aromatherapy enough to pay for aromatherapy is happier with their massage. They perceive a higher value. It's not that you're ripping them off or taking advantage. You're giving them what they want. And, hold on, I'm reading a thing here. Yes, upgrades will increase your wage. And I might be making 10 bucks more an hour. I mean, with no extra effort. So upgrades are always the way to go. Estheticians know this. Estheticians live in a world of upgrades. They're always trying to upgrade you, right? You go in for a facial, they're like, well, let's wax your eyebrows. They don't make the facial last longer because they're waxing your eyebrows. They just tack that on to the charge. So aromatherapy is the same type of thing. I'm not going to go into, by the way, every type of aromatherapy scent and what they supposedly do, for one thing, because I'm not an expert. I will tell you that lavender is one of the most commonly used ones. A lot of people think it helps balance out your sleep. It's considered by many to be the universal aromatherapy oil because so many people like it and so few people have allergic reactions to lavender, and it tends to be a very safe aromatherapy oil to use on people. Whereas you should read up on any aromatherapy oil you use, because some are not supposed to be used on people when they're pregnant. Some aren't supposed to be used on people when they have a sunburn. That's a big one. You have somebody who has a sunburn and all of a sudden you pour eucalyptus on them and you're going to burn their burn. But lavender is kind of this universal kind of balancing, helps you sleep, balancing your emotions. And that's why you see lavender in everything now. In fact, that's my only complaint about lavender is it's probably overused. The rest of this stuff is, you're going to read about it today. I'll leave that to you. You can, by the way, and many massage therapists do, I think this is kind of clever, they'll use aromatherapy in the face cradle. So not where the client's face touches, but underneath here, they'll take a little bit of this cloth and put like a little bit of eucalyptus there. Make sure the client's face isn't touching there because eucalyptus straight can be a bit much. It can burn them actually. But they'll put it here and then it helps with congestion, right? You're laying face down already and you know how your nose kind of gets stopped up? And they'll put a little bit down there and then they're associating a scent with their massage. They're getting aromatherapy, but you haven't even changed your oil. And it's just a nice little touch. You can also put it into a diffuser, all sorts of stuff. The only problem with diffusers is that they're fantastic, but they get that scent in the air. So if your next client comes in to your massage space and they don't like that scent, that's a problem because it's there for quite a while. All sorts of fun little ways to put your own signature on your treatment. I'm not going to worry about any of that. You guys get to read about that. Remember that, by the way, when it's put inside a lubricant, it's usually about 95% regular boring carrier oil, almond oil, safflower oil, coconut oil, and it's about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1% aromatherapy oil, depending on how strong the aromatherapy oil is you're putting in there. So again, you can have a diffuser and scent your massage area. I've got very mixed opinions about this. You have to kind of decide. A lot of spas do this now these days. It's kind of cool what they do, but you walk in the spa and think, oh, I just feel relaxed. What they've done is 3 things usually in there. They've affected the lighting right when you walk through the door, and they're piping in music and they're piping in scent. So they're actually having some scent come through their air conditioner system. And it kind of associates a scent with that spa, and it makes you feel like you've walked into a new world. Yes, ma'am.
I put valerian in my tea to help me sleep.
Yep.
And it's amazing. And it
Yeah.
smells so good.
Yeah.
That
So-
was amazing.
And a lot of spas use it for that reason, right? Because it instantly makes people feel kind of relaxed and sleepy, spa-like. And the other thing is, it really just helps you when you come from the outside world and all your problems and all the sense of the outside world. All of a sudden, you walk in this new world, and the sound is a certain way, and the lights come down, and the smell of valerian dances across your nose, and you're ready for your massage. They are setting a scene for you, so to speak. Somebody about to say something? I thought I heard somebody. Okay. Think about lighting in your massage. You want the lighting low because it's annoying to people, especially when they're sleepy. But in the areas where they have to move around and they're not on the table, or where you have to assess them, you need to be able to see them a little bit. So if you're trying to talk to me about the way I'm standing or looking at my posture, you need enough light to see me. I like my massage room as dark as possible, but it can't be pitch black. I've got to see what I'm doing. And I actually want to see your skin a little bit too, because I want to see if you've got any open sores, anything I should tell you about, bruises, things like that. Yeah. What do we do if we see a bruise on a client's back?
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it is a good one. Absolutely.
I asked them if they are aware that there is this bruise on their back.
Why do you do that, Miss Petrie?
Because it could mean something else
Yeah, it could.
that they are unaware of.
Yeah.
They might get checked out.
Yeah, people can't see their backs, so if you find bumps or bruises, you don't want to freak them out, but you do want to say, hey, are you aware that you've got a bump on your back? And I always say it really mellow, like, are you aware that you've got a little bit of a bump on your back that's the size of a Buick? And sometimes they're like, no, I was not aware. Oh, well, it's probably nothing, but you should get it checked out by a doctor. Everything is probably nothing, but you should get it checked out by a doctor. Because I don't want to freak them out, and I don't know. They're always going to ask you, too, what do you think it is? I don't know. I think it's a back with a bump on it, but you should get it checked out by a doctor. And I've worked places where massage therapists have caught cancer before. Like they've said, get it checked out by a doctor, and the client's written us back letters and said, they probably saved my life. They found a tumor that was very operable, but I didn't know it was there. And so you always want to tell them. Is there any other reason we want to tell people, ask people if they're aware of the bruise that we found?
Yes.
What?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Why would we want to?
I like to point it out because sometimes they don't realize they have a bruise, and then they think that maybe you gave them a bruise.
Exactly.
So I like to say, oh, I noticed that you have a bruise there.
Yeah.
I said, please let me know if the area around it is tender.
Yep.
But my whole point is to point it out to them.
Yeah. You nailed it. By the way,
they know I didn't do that.
All these comments nailed it, but you're absolutely right. We're telling them because, by the way, they really might need to be aware of stuff on their body. But we're also telling them to cover our own behinds. That is very, very true, because I've worked on people before where they're like, you gave me this bruise. I'm like, I didn't give you that bruise. The bruise was there when you came in here. And this avoids all that. So I always just say, hey, is that bruise tender, or are you aware you have a little bump on your back? I'm going to kind of avoid it, but you might want to get it checked out. But I'm always bringing attention to it in a really gentle manner, okay? Don't ever alarm people because they already freak out. But you're doing that exactly that. Otherwise, they think you did it. Very important. If you notice weird stuff that they can't see, you can just very gently like, oh, does this bruise hurt? What bruise? Oh, you've got a bruise here. I just want to see if it hurt. You know, just so that you've brought attention to it so they don't wake up the next morning or their spouse doesn't see it the next day and say, your massage therapist did that, right? And with bumps and lumps, you want to tell them because you really might be saving their life. okay? And by the way, lots of people have lumps all over their body that aren't dangerous at all. They're called lipomas. They're fatty tumors that aren't dangerous at all. And they'll be like, oh, it's a lipoma, don't worry about it. And that's fine. But I just like, if it's in a place where they can't see it all, I like to mention it to them. Cool? So for their safety and yours. Oh, you're going to hear OSHA a lot. By the way, we need to take a break here really soon. I apologize. And we will. OSHA stands for Occupational Safety and Health Administration. You will hear a lot about them if you work in spas because they determine all sorts of stuff about safe work environments and things like that. But they really recommend that all rooms be kept between 68 and 76 degrees Fahrenheit. I would recommend that all your massage rooms be between those temperatures. You should not be working in a room above 76. It's hard. And your clients won't stand a room below 68. So we've already talked about, obviously, the client wants warm, you want cold. Your book in this chapter, by the way, this is a great book. I really like this book that we use for massage, but they go into a whole thing about colors that you use in massage rooms, and there's a little bit of opinion about that. Some people react differently to colors. But for example, they feel that, shades of red and orange and yellow create cozy feelings. Some people find yellow to be quite awakening and not so cozy. But anyway, your book is going to talk to you about colors, and all I want to leave you with is to think about the colors of your massage room if you have a massage studio, which you might actually massage out of your house. Lots of people do. Also think about the colors of your uniform if you go to people's houses. And why might you want to wear a uniform every time I come to your house? There's lots of reasons.
There are lots of reasons. It's because somebody can get the wrong idea why you were there even.
That's right. So if you show up and you're worried about looking nice, sometimes looking nice to a client is getting dressed up for them. That's not helpful. If I show up in a uniform, it says I'm here to do a job. The nice thing about uniforms too is you can wash them. The other thing is if every time I come to a massage, you see this guy in front of you looking like this, you start to associate this with your happy experience. So whatever it is, I have students that have graduated from here from years ago that wear their scrub tops to all their massages. Their gateway scrub tops. I don't care if you do, I'm just saying. And their clients kind of associate that burgundy thing with their thing. It's their brand. And it just becomes this kind of thing. I do recommend that whatever you wear that every time you go there. Right? So that could be yoga pants and, some appropriate shirt or whatever, but it's the same every time. You want it to be the same. You want it to become a uniform. I think we're just about done here. Your book gets into body art. I really question this in this day and age, but I will tell you body art is a very generational thing. It's pretty widely accepted now. You're going to find that places like Massage Envy, Elements will now hire you with tattoos and piercings and things like that. But they often will ask you to cover certain ones and things of that nature because their older clients seem to still associate it with something less than desirable. That's starting to go away. If you're thinking about getting extra body art and piercing, go for it, but don't do it on your face or neck. Right? Just think about the fact that you might want to cover this up someday. I'm all about it. It's awesome. But try to do it in places that you can choose when to reveal your art. It's nice if you can show it off at times and cover it up at other times. You don't want to have something where you have to put a Band-Aid over your cheek, right? But your book will talk about that a little bit. So this might seem like a minor point. This chapter talks about like securing loose corners of carpet and things like that, and using ramps to get people from place to place and trying to avoid stairs. It's actually a big point. Most of the lawsuits that I have dealt with in the spa and with friends working out of their house have not been over massage. They've been over a client slipping in those locations. I would say 90% of the lawsuits that I have been involved in, dealt with, heard about, everything, has to not do with the client getting hurt in a massage or claiming to be hurt in a massage. It's a client slipping and tripping. So think about it. If you have an area in your house that you're using, make sure that there aren't any obvious places that they could say, hey, that was negligent on your part, whatever. If you're in a spa, whatever. If you make sure there aren't places where you've got a tiled floor and there's oil that's now on that floor and they could slip and things like that. Just be very careful about that kind of stuff, because strangely enough, you'd think that it would be the massages, but massages are very safe. It's always somebody tripping and slipping. Almost always. It's a strange kind of thing. So I'd worry about that more than your actual massage when it comes to liability. Okay, that's a great place for us to take a break. Let's stop presenting here. Okay, everybody, why don't you take a 5-minute break. I'll come back and show you about the reading and the little homework test thing at the end of it. And you'll be able to kind of read and study on your own and take this online thing. And I will be here. We'll all still be online together. So I'll be able to here to answer questions and help you if you're like, I can't find it, all that kind of stuff. Cool? But go take a break. By the way, I saw some of you like lying down and things like that. That's awesome. If you want to stretch while we're exercising, if you want to stretch while I'm lecturing, things like that, that's fine. You're actually kind of using your body and staying more engaged. So feel free to, as long as I can see you and you're listening, get comfortable and feel free to kind of move around and eat and stretch and whatever, all that good stuff. Cool. All right, take a break. I'll see you in 5. Thank you. Okay. Everybody back? Okay. So we have about 53 minutes left of class. And what I want to try to do is have you do some self-study here and take a chapter test on this chapter, which I don't think you're going to find very involved. But this will be kind of the format we're using, so I'm kind of testing out time-wise. So let me show you how this is going to look. At the end of all the chapters in your massage therapy book are matching questions. And they're questions to check if you've read the chapter. They might be questions that I might have emphasized in my lecture. And we really just kind of want you to read through there. You're welcome to use your book. We'd love you to read it. You're welcome to refer back to it. That's not cheating. We want you to look at your book. Like, it's fine. So let me show you how you get to that. So I'm going to present something here. Hold on. And wait, bear with me once. Yes, this will work. Okay. Let me higher screen. Okay. So. All right, you should see this whole screen with all of our faces on it, all you beautiful people. And you should see me logging into Canvas now. If you don't, somebody say something. Let's go student view here. So you will stay online. You'll just go to a different tab. And that way I can still give you credit for being in class, but you get to work in class. The idea is for you not to have homework at night if we can avoid that. We're going to go to assignments because we're always going to go to assignments. We're going to click on assignments. And we're going to go to day 2 here, 2. And it's matching. And MT3 means massage therapy, your textbook, massage therapy chapter 3 on the tools of the trade, right? So it's day 2. It's a matching thing at the end of the chapter. The chapter is in the book, Massage Therapy, chapter 3, Tools. It's a longer chapter name than that, but it gives you something to go by. If you click on this and you say, take the quiz, this will open up. And in the back of your book, it actually says matching 1. Let me turn to that really quick. I'll tell you what it says. For chapter 3, bear with me. Chapter 3. No, that's chapter 4. I apologize. Okay. On page 48 of your book is matching 1 and 2. And if you look at number 1 on that, it says, product used for disinfecting table and accessory fabric, but not for routine cleaning. You'd click on this, and you'd say what letter from the thing above when you open up your book, if this will make sense to you.
E.
Thank you. And I would actually select E. E is in there. By the way, I would not use E again down here because it's unlikely we used it twice. And you'll do that for each of these. And there's matching 2 here. And when you're done, you'll say submit the quiz. Now you can only submit this quiz once. So watch, I'm going to submit it. It's going to say, hey dude, you didn't answer a lot of the questions. I'm going to say, I don't care. I don't care what Tapscott tells me. And it's going to grade it instantly. It's going to say I got 0.2 out of 5 points because I missed all of these. Right? So don't do that. Answer all of them. And remember, you don't have to finish this. Let me go back. Let me get back out of here. Stop sharing. Oh. You do not need to finish this until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Right? So you have about 22 hours to complete this. I think many of you will complete it right now online, but don't feel bad if you don't for whatever reason. I just want you to try to read through this chapter and answer those questions at the back and get used to doing this very first quiz. And please don't stress. This is meant to be very simple. It's just meant to, what you've now done is you've heard a lecture on the material. You're going to read the material. You're going to answer a quiz about the material, and it makes sure that you've absorbed this very basic material. I will also tell you quite honestly, we will never have a cumulative test on this later. Not on this. I'm not going to ask you at the end of the year, so which lotion is the best? Because by the end of the year, you're going to have all sorts of opinions about lotions and draping and oils and sheets and table height. This is not information that we need to test you on cumulatively. Now later when we learn about muscles, I'll be like, hey guys, not only are you taking a quiz today, but later on there's going to be another quiz because we want to make sure you really remember your muscles. But this stuff is just to make sure you've listened to the lecture, you really participated this morning, you stayed on the call, you read the book, you took this quiz at the end. So it's easy peasy points. I'm going to switch computers, but you're still going to see my face. I'm just going to be on a different computer, so I'm still going to be available to talk and answer any of your questions. Cool? Do you have any questions yet? You might when you get to the quiz, and that's fine. 48, yes. Page 48. Yeah. The pain in the neck part about this is you have to match up the numbers to the questions in your book and such. Use the drop-down menu. Yeah. But I think you guys got it. Cool? All right. So let's check that out. Like I said, I'm switching computers, but you will have me here for anything you need. You are welcome, Ms. Hunter. Thank you. So I'm just going to switch on over. Okay, everybody. Some of you are still working. Some of you are completely done. That's fine either way. The way all these assignments are set up is to give you added time if you need it. So please don't stress about that. You have till 8 o'clock tomorrow morning to finish up this matching thing. But many of you are done too. And we only have 9 minutes left, and I kind of like to wrap up our day together, even though you have more day of lab coming, right? I'm a big believer that you can only absorb so much information. And quite honestly, if we have 120 days together and you remember 120 things, if you remember them 10 years from now, that's pretty valuable learning. if you could take away that many things. And so I always like to ask you at the end of class, something that you want to remember from today. And by the way, it does not have to be something I emphasize, like coconut oil is the thing to use. I don't mean that. It might have been something little, but, and I won't call on each of you today yet. I don't think we've even covered enough material, but is there anything from today that you think should stick with you? Or if you were teaching somebody about massage therapy, you would tell them anything at all, or anything you read, or anything that came to mind, or anything at all? Anybody?
I'll go.
About the liability for like the insurance, that you would think it's a lot more about like being touched inappropriately, like, or something like that, but it's more like the steps, the core, like simple things that sometimes you don't realize and they end up getting you in trouble.
Yeah, excellent. And Miss Yanez, I see you nodding your head. Would you have something different or similar?
Yeah. I didn't think about, like, if you're going to someone's house to just add on the other people who are there.
Yeah.
Like, I always thought you just schedule someone and then you're done.
Yeah.
But it makes sense to have more people.
It does. And the reason I made a big deal out of it, by the way, is we get a little indignant. I'm like, hey, you didn't schedule my time. Yeah, that's totally true. I don't want you to take advantage of my time, but I'm there. And the part of time that I'm not making any money is when I'm driving and setting up. So yeah, I want to stay. There's a reason that when you walk into a 7-Eleven or a Circle K, that you can get like a 16-ounce Coke for like $4, right? But then for $4.05, they'll give you a giant 5-gallon bucket. And you're like, why is it just 5 cents more? It's because the rest doesn't cost them anything. They finally got you to walk through the door. They want to get every last little penny out of you now. So once you've made a sale, if you can upgrade it, if you can work on somebody else, if they'll go longer, whatever, of course you would want to do that. My favorite client in the world was Landon Wilson. Landon Wilson was a Coyotes hockey player. And I would go to his house and he would say, he loved massage. And he would say, I just want you to massage until you're done. So I didn't look at the clock with him, and I'm not exaggerating. Sometimes it was a 4-hour massage. He was a very large and powerful man. He had lots of money. He loved massage, and every time he got to some place, like when I get to his feet, he'd be like, oh my God, I love the feet. Well, then we're doing an hour of feet today, buddy, at $100 an hour, and I'm not exaggerating. I walk out of his house with like $500 in my pocket. That is a huge day. So yes, I was exhausted, but it was one trip. It's so worth it. Those are the clients you want. You want to go long, 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 long. And by the way, it's one stop, one set of sheets, right? That's the easiest thing. You want to do the longest massage possible. You don't want to do short ones. You want to do long ones. People are like, well, you don't get a break between there. A 10, 15-minute break doesn't help you anyway. You're still tired. You want to keep going. Yeah, well said. So yes, I love that. That and the liability. Like the liability that people could be slipping, it's even more than just the massage itself. Anything else? Those are huge.
I already think it's really cool that massage therapists help many people in many ways, but I thought it was really cool about the bruises and the lumps that you can point out, and you can save people with cancer.
Yes.
I just thought that was a really good point to remember.
Thank you. Super huge. Life-saving information. People don't see their backs. Even married people don't always see their spouses don't always see their backs. It's just not something you do, right? But your massage therapist is staring at your back for 30 minutes or a half an hour, or the back of your legs, places that people just don't look, and they're touching really closely. And so, yeah, you could save a life. And at the bare minimum, you save yourself having to explain to somebody, no, I didn't give you that bruise, or no, I didn't do that thing, or whatever. Yeah, so good for you, good for them. I love these. I wasn't necessarily thinking of those 3 things, but I would say those are 3 of the most important things we talked about today. Not the loft of a table, but really that kind of stuff where somebody's life is saved. Yes. Anything else? And it, by the way, doesn't have to. Yes, please, Miss Balatic.
I think it's cool how you really have to cater to each of your clients. Like you almost need to like view them as a friend, because for your friend you want the best for your friend.
Yeah.
So you do like the lighting, the smells. I think that's all really interesting.
Yeah, I like what you said. Now, by the way, 100% agree with you. Some people would say, "Oh, they're not your friends. Be careful." Yeah, it's true. They're your friends with boundaries. And when you're in my room, you're my best friend for an hour or two, right? The only difference between that and my other friendships is at the end of the time that you're paying for, our friendship kind of ends, right? We don't hang out then. But you are my friend, and you're absolutely right. People don't pay $100 an hour for something that's not customized. So you're absolutely right. Like, it's all about that person. If you like your nose rubbed for, so because there's nothing wrong with that, and that's what you like. It is customized, absolutely. And you've got a lot of power there to make a really unique experience. I always say if people just want to relax, they just take a bath, right? It's got to be more than that. Good stuff. Anything else? I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I want to have one question. Yeah, I can today I can bring in my laptop and phone go to the school because I want to some in the Wi-Fi for translation and I cannot because I see about paper yesterday and my teacher tip me and the say about the no phone.
So I'm just trying to understand. You want to know if you can bring your phone or your laptop today?
No, I bring both. Because I wanted to get in the Wi-Fi in the school and I want to change relation because in the sometimes I want to really understand about in the what in the doc what in the teacher talk. I want that.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I just wonder if I'm understanding you. If you're having Wi-Fi issues, we can look at getting you a hotspot or look at putting you in a room in the school. It's true.
Yeah.
By yourself. You can't be in the room I'm in, but you'd be by yourself. You'd still be seeing me through a video, but we can look into that. But you won't need your laptop for lab.
Cannot bring laptop.
Well, you can, but you're not gonna be rubbing people the whole time. You're not gonna be able to use your laptop. I feel like I'm misunderstanding you.
Teachers might be concerned about not understanding or missing something.
Sure. I think, yes, bring your laptop. Bring your laptop. I don't think you're going to use it, but bring it. I think you guys are going to see that things start to shift today with Mystery Bar where you're starting to do more hands-on stuff. So and so I don't think it's going to matter as much, but go ahead and bring it and
So
see.
I can bring and I ask the teacher if I can use and cannot use. Yesterday I already asked for him for me use the full population. And he said okay with that.
So he said yes.
Yeah, what you was trying to. Yeah, you use your cell phone to translate.
Oh sure. I don't have.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't have a problem with it.
But when we are in lab and we're doing hands-on, I will make sure that you perfectly know exactly what we're doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
To a point where you don't need translation to help you out one-on-one.